Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So you guys know how far we are into this cycle. Well, we're about posting this. We are 466 days into the cycle. The last one lasted about 1,424 days. The one before that, 1,478 days. So pretty predictable when it comes to these Bitcoin cycles and cryptocurrency. I guess the cryptocurrency cycle as a whole. That's the crashing phase, accumulation phase, and the bullish phase all together. So what he is looking at here is this specifically. Okay, guys, I got the total market cap up here on the daily, and he is saying we are 466 days into the cycle, and this is starting from the crashing phase. So the crashing phase, which happened right in and around here, November 9th or 10th of 2021. We take it from there, we bring it all the way to today, and there we are right and around here. To get it accurate, we can bring it right in and around here, and you guys can see we are 466 days in. But from here, guys, what he is suggesting is that we have about another 1,000 days, give or take, before we really see the next all-time high for Bitcoin and for other altcoins. So, I just decided to take an average here. Even if we say 1,450 days from November 9th, where would that actually bring us? So 1,450 days from November 9th, 2021 would be, check that out, Wednesday, October the 29th, 2025. So, we're eyeing late 2025. It isn't even on this chart here. This chart ends in July 2024. So we would still need to go way further than that. 1450 in and around here somewhere. So guys, a lot more to look forward to at this point. I'm hoping that this is in fact the bottom of the market. All signs are suggesting that it is. Let me just bring up Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin is trading right now at about $24,600 per coin. You guys can see here, we're seeing some positive movement on the daily for Bitcoin. And just bringing up XRP real quickly. XRP still fairly flat, just under 40 cents at 0.393 per coin. So October 2025, we still have time to accumulate. I don't know if you guys are done accumulating. If you're still saving up to accumulate more, please do let me know. Put it down in the comment section. Of course, ISO 20022 implementation is going to be front and center this year, 2023. And ISO 20022, let's do it here, just posted the migration timeline. As you guys can see here, March 20th, 2023, this is when Swift, Target 2, and Fed and CHIPS decided to start implementing. We got some more dates on the timeline, like CHAPS for the Great British Pound, the Hong Kong Dollar Chats, CHIPS for full ISO adoption in November of 23, and then the Fed full ISO adoption by March of 2025. And so, this estimate here, a very rough estimate, we could see the height of the market by November or December of 2025. It could be earlier. We really just don't know at this point. I guess an interesting point, though, to consider is that we will likely see, if all things remain the same, we will likely see the market rally as this ISO 20022 full integration takes place. And I don't know if that was by coincidence or not. Some more positive news here, guys, coming from Brian Brooks. Now, this was from an interview from a couple of months ago, but I thought it was interesting. Brian Brooks, the former commissioner at the Office of the Controller of the Currency, he understands the crypto market. He's crypto forward, but he's also a regulator. Listen to what he said in this interview here.
It's sort of like in 1980, when I was first figuring out what the stock market was, people used to say, would the Dow ever reach 5,000? And a lot of people said that could never reach 5,000, right? Bitcoin is limited in supply. Its adoption rate is up. Its purpose is as a protection against bad macroeconomic policy, which God knows we're certainly living through. So typically it follows a cycle, and all of the charts suggest it's right following the cycle right now. It's roughly around the nadir of what the historical cycle would predict. It's a 4-year cycle. The next halving, right, when the rate of Bitcoin release is cut in half, is in 2024. What I would expect is Bitcoin will be relatively flat for the next 12 months or so. We'll start climbing in advance of the halving, and then we'll increase. What day it gets to 100,000, I don't know, but I'm strongly of the view that it will.
Even Brian Brooks, a governmental regulator, does think that Bitcoin will reach 100,000 at some point in time. Let me just bring up Bitcoin one more time here real quickly. So again, this is Bitcoin on the daily, even just throwing a Fibonacci on the Bitcoin chart right here. We've seen Bitcoin reach full Fibonacci retracements in former bull runs, but even at $100,000 per BTC, that would bring us, let me just show you guys, that would bring us in and around here. So the 1.618 would actually bring Bitcoin up to $102,255 per coin. So not even making the full fib retracement, which would in fact bring Bitcoin upwards of $250,000 per coin, actually at $242,372 per coin, at least as per this chart here provided by Bitstamp. So Brian Brooks seems positive. We can see Bitcoin hit that perhaps at the end of 23, but most likely in 2024 once we hit that halving mark that he talked about. And just to give you guys some context here, we are expected to see the next Bitcoin halving. The last one happened in May of 2020, and the next one is supposed to happen in early 2024. So late 23, early 24, this is when we're really going to start to see the market really shoot up. So I wanted to thank Crypto Eddie there for posting that. I also happen to see this, guys, from Michael Branch here on Twitter. So an interesting update coming out of Bahrain. We know Ripple has been working with the Central Bank of Bahrain to create a central bank digital currency, but we're seeing this country too, in this case, a hotel chain, the Novotel hotel chain, start to accept cryptocurrencies as payments. According to recent coverage, the Novotel Bahrain Al Dana Resort partnered with Easy Financial Services to allow guests to settle accommodation bills in cryptocurrency, and they are using a Binance app to do that. The Central Bank of Bahrain approved the move, making Novotel Bahrain Al Dana Resort the first in the nation where such a payment option is available. So note, the Central Bank of Bahrain, the Ripple partner here, they are approving cryptocurrency transactions. Clearly, Bahrain looking to be a cryptocurrency forward country in the coming years. Here's a quote, guys: keeping up with the development of technologies and our constant desire to provide our valued guests with the highest level of services, we are thrilled to announce that we are the first hotel in the Kingdom of Bahrain and the region to use the latest digital payment technologies in partnership with Easy Financial Services. And down here, they're saying they're not accepting XRP, unfortunately, but they are accepting Bitcoin, Ethereum, Binance Coin. Of course, that makes sense considering they're using a Binance app. While the former also supports Shiba Inu coins. So I'm wondering if, maybe they did a bit of a study and they're seeing who is still holding Shiba Inu bags after the bull run and in the bear market. Shiba Inu is up a little bit, 0.00001 of a penny. Right now, after we did see that high up here back in late 2021 of 0.00008 per coin. What a wicked rally for Shiba Inu in the last cycle, up 1,200%. Of course, now I think we are going to see more of this too, where legitimate organizations, companies are going to start accepting cryptocurrency, especially if they, if the country that they're located in are planning specific infrastructure for cryptocurrency adoption. Another good example of that would be El Salvador accepting Bitcoin everywhere. I would imagine that they would probably be open to accepting other cryptocurrencies as well. These are the kinds of people that are going to be attracted to these destinations. So, interesting news here coming out of Bahrain. We know about the Ripple partnership, the CBDC, and even here it says the central bank did approve this move. So wanted to thank Michael for posting that. Also happen to see this, guys, from Eggrag Crypto here. Ripple partner and Wells Fargo are collaborating on a Swift replacement. So check this out, guys. The clearinghouse, which we know is a known Ripple partner, is working with Wells Fargo on a cross-border payment system specifically designed to support digital commerce that could potentially replace Swift. The system, known as Real-Time Payments, or RTP service, would facilitate the real-time transfer of digital currencies between eligible accounts at Wells Fargo. A new Wells Fargo online service agreement has been shared online that details how this project could directly challenge Swift's dominance. So this was posted about a year ago, just outlining what real-time payments are for the clearinghouse. Real-time payment service here uses the RTP network operated by a third party. The clearinghouse, when you send a payment using the RTP service, you authorize us to deduct the amount of the payment from your account immediately, and the funds will typically be made available to the payee within seconds. So running on DLT technology, we know the clearinghouse, again, a Ripple partner, so likely running on the XRPL. After it is sent, a real-time payment cannot be canceled or amended. So another attribute here of blockchain technology, you can request that a payee returns the funds to you, but the payee is not required to return the funds even if you entered an incorrect amount, sent an item, or the wrong payee. You authorize here Wells Fargo to share your personal information, including your name, Wells Fargo account number, and routing transit number with the clearinghouse. You may not send more than $5,000 at the time of this publication. through the RTP service in a single payment. So it sounds as though this is a new payment option for retail, and it was announced some time ago now, but it looks as though they are starting to implement this. The clearinghouse has stated that RTP service is specifically designed for digital on-the-go service. In the times we live in, our payments are just working differently these days. In particular, unlike rival payment systems, the RTP system includes real-time postings, immediate confirmation, and a secure two-way messaging service. So it is looking like, as they mentioned down here, further evidence that digital currencies are tentatively becoming increasingly adopted by mainstream financial institutions. And this is only going to become more and more prevalent as the years go on. So wanted to thank Eggrag Crypto here just for posting that. Guys, did you also hear about this? Okay, XRP is more popular in Japan than in the United States. From Sento Sumo Saba here on Twitter, Hong Kong study on why XRP is the second most popular in crypto. Now, this has been known for quite some time. However, a brand new report just came out. This is from February the 15th, 2023. You guys can see that on the page here. A study on non-performing asset classes in cryptocurrency in Japan. Now, Japan always been very bullish on XRP. However, I didn't know that it was actually the second biggest cryptocurrency, with nearly 1.36 billion units traded in February of 2022 alone. XRP was the cryptocurrency with the highest spot trading volume in Japan, and has been, even during the bear market. So highest volume spot traded in Japan in February of 2022, which would have brought us in and around here at some point. So, already kind of halfway through that bear market. The Japanese are still very bullish on XRP, and Crypto Eddie highlights some of the points here. Wrath Economan also bringing up the same study here. Interesting study out of the City University of Hong Kong discussing why XRP is popular in Japan amidst a burst bubble of non-performing assets. XRP is as popular as BTC. So we're talking up there. He notes as crypto strongly correlated with stocks. Let me read you guys a little bit of this. Many Westerners don't understand why Ripple has become so popular in Japan. Once one is familiar with Japanese customs and the confidence that Japan's largest venture capital fund has in Ripple, the whole thing becomes clear. So this goes back to the collaboration with SBI Holdings, or that partnership rather. The partnership between the most reputable venture capital firm in Japan, SBI Holdings, and Ripple has been the primary driver of Ripple's success in Japan. In 2017, SBI Holdings invested close to $300 million in Ripple. In the SEC lawsuit, this investment was cited as an improper sale of a security to SBI Holdings. So this is one of the pain points when it comes to the SEC lawsuit. Even the founder of SBI Holdings and a board member of Ripple tweeted about the new all-time high of XRP. That was a few years ago now. Despite Ether's position as the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap, some Japanese crypto investors may find XRP to be a more appealing investment. So the Japanese, they are not getting distracted by these numbers here by, Bitcoin's 1, Ethereum's 2, and then there's a whole bunch of other coins, and then XRP is down here. They just look at the fundamentals, what us in the crypto space, what us XRP holders are looking at, the partnerships, and in this case, SBI Holdings, a big one in Japan. So it is interesting that they are coming out again. I mean, I knew this before, but, even as of February 2023, which is, we're still technically in February. This just came out 4 days ago if you're watching this video on the day it's released. The Japanese are saying XRP still a big performer in Japan, and neck and neck with Bitcoin, obviously, for good reason. So that is interesting news, going to propel adoption. Of course, Japan has always been Ripple and XRP friendly. So wanted to thank Crypto Eddie for mentioning that. Also wanted to mention this. It's interesting that, the pain point that they mentioned in this Japanese study was the SBI Holdings and how that was considered an improper sale of a security, according to the SEC. However, that happened in Japan, so I don't know how they're going to slice that one. Mr. Hubert here, though, posting this, the SEC never wanted to discuss the security status of XRP with Ripple. So, this is just another reason why this opaqueness from the SEC is so shady. Down here in a response, this was from August of 2018. In a response, Chairman Clayton immediately stated that the meeting was not a proper forum for a discussion about that topic when Ripple wanted to discuss XRP. He then asked Garlinghouse to back up from the issue and steered the meeting back to a discussion about Ripple's business and technology. So they wanted to talk about XRP, but the commissioner at that time, Jay Clayton, was not allowing for that discussion. In addition to the foregoing objections, the commission objects that his request is irrelevant because the commission can prevail in this case even if this requested fact is true. Subject to all of the foregoing objections, the commission admits that before the filing of this case, certain third parties inquired about the legal status of XRP. However, the commission did not state a view on it one way or the other in response. So super shady. Michael Branch also bringing this up with regards to John Dean in his opinion that we could in fact see a settlement which would regard the sales of XRP between 2013 and 2017 specifically as the security sales, whereas everything after 2017 free and clear. So here's what he said. The lawyer representing the 75,000 plus XRP holders, as a friend of the court in the case known as the SEC versus Ripple case, he said this: personally based on the way the SEC chose to plead this case, an almost all or nothing approach, i.e. all sales, past, present, and future, are unregistered securities, I believe the only victory for the SEC is that Ripple offered XRP as unregistered securities between these dates, 2013 to 2017. And so maybe they have an argument for that. And, maybe that's their strongest argument. Maybe they will realize that is their strongest argument. So will they be satisfied with a fine paid by Ripple to the SEC based on those particular sales? And then can we get on business as usual? We're all just kind of waiting with bated breath. It's almost March. We're anticipating a final verdict by March, from the judge, and hopefully we will see XRP price rally at that point. Let's also not forget this video from Jeremy Hogan, guys, back a couple of years ago now. I believe this was from 2021, Digital Asset Buy, reminding us, though, what the SEC versus Ripple settlement could look like. All eyes are on the escrow.
And if Ripple is nervous about the potential outcome of the case, I can even see them agreeing to pay a percentage of any sales of the escrowed XRP, or if you want to get really deep state thinking, Ripple could even agree to confiscation of a certain amount of the escrowed XRP to the state. Now, maybe that's a little fringe conjecture, but here's something that's not. Ripple is apparently at a place business-wise where it could likely afford to make sales from escrow to only accredited investors or to corporations, thanks to its on-demand liquidity product. Now, this might make the SEC feel better about the public sales from Ripple because Ripple seems now to be in a position to do that. Look at this from a May 2021 Cointelegraph article. The company also reported that over the quarter, 3 billion XRP has been released from the escrow holdings, while 2.7 billion XRP have been returned to new escrow contracts. So Ripple is re-escrowing a large percentage of the XRP that it holds in escrow and maintaining its business functions from sales to its ODL customers. And those customers are bank and money transfer services, etc., not exchanges, not Joe Public. These are private purchasers. So if that's true, it puts Ripple in a good position to agree to only private or Section D sales to accredited investors.
Now that we're getting closer to settlement time, going back and taking a look at some of these older videos might make a little more sense, and in some cases might, make less sense just because we have more information now with regards to the case. So the contestation here, the sales before 2017, was XRP being listed as a security? It could be a gray area, guys, and maybe the escrow will be, in fact, included as a settlement tool. Don't think they will hand over the escrow completely, but we could see a bit of a mixed bag here. Anyway, some interesting insight here from Jeremy Hogan and John Deaton. Of course, always great to have their perspective when it comes to the Ripple SEC case. Now, the other day, I talked about a clip I saw online of Brooks Entwistle, employee of Ripple in the MENA region, discussing the fact that they were talking to Singapore, and he alluded to this idea that perhaps Ripple was actually creating a central bank digital currency for the country of Singapore. If you guys didn't catch that, I will link it up here. While Anders here on Twitter brought up something else that I thought was interesting, why I believe Ripple are working with a lot of central banks with their CBDCs. So this is now expanding not just to Singapore, but Anders thinks that Ripple is on track to actually create more central bank digital currencies for more players. Description of a current job opening, guys, and this is directly from Ripple's website here. You guys can see it here, Partner Solution Director for Central Banks in Singapore specifically. But what you'll do here, work with multiple clients simultaneously to understand where and how our technology can assist them in meeting their CBDC objectives. So maybe they are working with Singapore, but maybe they will be headquartered in Singapore because there are other Asian countries that perhaps want to run on a Ripple-powered central bank digital currency. So, there's lots of clues to insinuate that Ripple will be working on other CBDC projects in the MENA region. And even just by the sounds of that Brooks Entwistle interview, he did sound fairly confident that, that was kind of where Ripple was going in terms of central bank digital currency adoption. So another new piece of news here, another great clue here as to where Ripple could be going with their central bank digital currency projects. And so this brings me to this. Klaus Knot here from the World Economic Forum Davos meeting from last month. Just to give you guys some context here, he is the current or was the president of the Nederlandsche Bank, so a big bank in the Netherlands, and the current chair of the Financial Stability Board. If I click on that, you guys can see this is an international body that monitors and makes recommendations about the global financial system. And they were invited to the World Economic Forum. It was established after the G20 London Summit in April of 2009 as a successor to the Financial Stability Forum. The board includes all G20 major economies, FSF members, and the European Commission. Hosted and funded by the Bank for International Settlements, the board is based in Basel, Switzerland. So they have direct ties with the BIS. And here's the head, Klaus Knot, sitting on a panel with Brad Garlinghouse at the WEF show in Davos. Listen to this.
Many of these crypto assets are offered from places that I would call sunny places for shady people.
Could you give an example?
Well, I think we all know the kind of locations that we're talking about. So we need to have a global framework to regulate this. It doesn't make sense to just have national approaches. I think this is truly global in nature. And so we have been working concretely, and then I'll stop, on updating our regulations on global stablecoin arrangements and coming forward with a new set of recommendations for what we call unbacked crypto assets or other crypto assets. They are now in the open for consultation. So we are looking forward very much for sort of the responses.
It's the first pitch of the panel, people.
Yeah, and then we hope to finalize these two sets of recommendations by the summer of this year.
Then finally, I don't know if you guys caught it there, at the end, he said we want to finalize these recommendations by summer of this year, so 2023. Also note, cryptocurrency he was insinuating for shady people in sunny places. Was that a dig at El Salvador? Probably. All this to just show you guys the powers that be working very hard to create a global framework for cryptocurrency adoption. Brad Garlinghouse on this panel, one of the very few crypto companies that were invited to Davos to speak at the World Economic Forum. Well, I mean, these are the guys that are creating central bank digital currencies running on the XRP ledger for the countries that are going to be adopting. So that makes me, you, and the Japanese buying low, waiting for this thing to blow. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.